What if I told you that the most feared car of 2026 is not from Red Bull, nor from Ferrari, nor from Mercedes? What if I told you that Adrian Newey has just created a beast so radical that it already provokes respect and fear before even competing? The day Aston Martin lifted the canvas on the AMR26, it was not a simple technical presentation. It was a declaration of war. In a world where teams used to take the first year of a new regulation as an adaptation period, Adrian Newey has done exactly the opposite. Instead of opting for a conservative interpretation to understand the new 2026 regulations, Newey has released into the paddock a car that seems to have been taken directly from a futuristic laboratory, designed to break molds and redefine what a Formula One car can be. What is most striking is not only its visual appearance, although that in itself is a cause for conversation, but the implicit message. Aston Martin has stopped being a contender to become a real threat, backed by pure engineering, aggressive philosophy, and excessive ambition. From the silhouette, the AMR26 impresses. Every surface, every curve, and every visible element has been designed with a purpose. The bodywork has been sculpted with almost surgical precision, focusing on reducing drag and maximizing efficiency in key areas to harness the potential of the new regulations. This is not a car made to go fast only in a straight line. It is designed to adapt dynamically to each phase of a curve, taking advantage of the new active aerodynamic system that allows the behavior of the spoilers to be modified in real time. That alone represents one of the biggest revolutions of this era, and Newey has embraced it from the first second. Where some see complexity, he sees opportunity, and that makes the difference. But there is an even deeper dimension to this project: the absolute integration of all the components of the car. Aston Martin no longer depends on external parts. The transmission, the rear suspension, the power unit, everything has been rethought, redesigned, and rebuilt from the ground up to work as a unified system. The arrival of the Honda RA626H engine is not just a change of supplier, it is a founding act. For the first time in its modern history, Aston Martin acts as a true works team, designing around its own mechanical and structural concept. That freedom has allowed Newey to do what he does best: create cars that function as a single piece of engineering without compromise. This idea of total integration is critical to understanding the potential of the AMR26. Historically, Newey's designs have shined when he's been able to work on the car as a whole. Not just aerodynamics, not just engine. And now, with Aston Martin, you have a state-of-the-art factory, a wind tunnel that has finally been properly calibrated, a simulator that provides precisely correlated data, and a team that has learned from the mistakes of the recent past. In this environment, Newey no longer struggles with imprecise tools or limiting corporate decisions. He's in control, and that makes him more dangerous than ever. Beyond the visual and the technical, there is a psychological component that cannot be ignored. The simple fact that Adrian Newey has chosen this project to start a new era says much more than it seems. He is not a designer who takes steps without thinking. If you have bet on Aston Martin, it is because you have seen a foundation on which you can build a dynasty. It's not just about winning races, but about imposing a new philosophy on the grid. And that is the true birth of the monster, the combination of technical freedom, unbridled ambition, and a mind that has proven time and time again that it knows how to anticipate the future. This is not simply the most visually aggressive car of the 2026 era. It is the symbol of a team that has stopped waiting for its chance and decided to take it. And that, in Formula One, can be more lethal than any simulation figure or performance prediction. To really understand what it means to have Adrian Newey behind the AMR26, you first have to understand what his approach represents. Newey doesn't design cars to comply with the rules. Design cars that exploit the rules. Throughout his career, he has demonstrated a pinpoint obsession with interpreting technical regulations in the most creative and disruptive way possible. And every time he has had the opportunity to start from a blank sheet with a new regulation, he has changed the course of Formula One. This is what happened in 2009 with the double diffusers. This is what happened again in 2014 with his interpretation of the turbo hybrid, and again in 2022 with the era of ground effect. The pattern repeats itself. When the board resets, Newey takes the advantage before anyone else. That is exactly the situation in 2026. A completely new regulation which merges active aerodynamics with a hybrid philosophy much more dependent on electrical efficiency. For many grid engineers, this means uncertainty. For Newey, it represents freedom. And it is that freedom that has been channeled into the AMR26. Design does not simply seek to adapt to new rules. It takes them to the limit. From the internal packaging of the power unit to the dynamic interaction of the suspension with the new generation of moving spoilers, Everything has been designed to maximize every benefit allowed by the regulations. And he has done it without falling into the obvious. Where other teams have interpreted the rules with caution, Aston Martin has opted for an extreme, bold, even provocative reading. And that's exactly what Newey has always done when signing his best cars. The most revealing thing is how this philosophy is reflected in decisions that cannot be seen with the naked eye. The true genius is not in the exterior design of the car, although it is impressive, but in how each element responds to an integral logic of operation. For example, the work on the midsection of the AMR26 not only improves downforce, it also allows more efficient management of the thermal energy of the hybrid system by channeling hot air in a more controlled way. The bodywork is not simply designed to be stylish. It is molded to interact with the dynamic flow of the car in real time, taking advantage of active aerodynamics as a tactical tool in the race. This implies that the AMR26 will not only be fast in qualifying, it will be adaptable, unpredictable, and probably dominant in long stints where energy and aerodynamic control becomes more important. This level of systems thinking is a trademark of Adrian Newey. For decades, it has proven that it is not enough to make a car fast. What really makes the difference is creating a car that evolves during the season, that has room to grow, that adapts to each circuit, to each weather condition, to each rival. And that's what's at stake with the AMR26. It's not just about being competitive in the first few races. It's about laying a solid foundation so that, within a year or two, the rest of the grid will be trying to copy what Aston Martin already understood from day one. The fascinating thing is that now, for the first time in a long time, Newey has the tools to apply his philosophy without restrictions. You are no longer tied to corporate decisions. He no longer designs cars for a structure that prioritizes marketing over performance. Now you have control over the car architecture, the simulation environment, the correlation processes between wind tunnel and track. Even the alliance with Honda allows for much closer integration between engine and chassis than what Red Bull offered with its modular solutions. And that detail is fundamental. Because one of Newey's most underrated strengths has always been its ability to integrate the power unit as part of the aerodynamic design. Not the other way around. Not as a piece that fits, but as a central element of the car concept. This technical freedom translates into confidence. And that's what's in the air at Aston Martin right now. After several years of sustained growth, investments in infrastructure, and strategic bets, the arrival of Newey has unified all the pieces of the project. He is not just a star designer. It is a symbol. A message to the rest of the paddock. We are no longer building the future. We are the future. And when that mentality is installed in a team, sooner or later the results arrive. The AMR26 may not win from the first race. But if history is any guide, it's a matter of time before it begins to dictate the pace. And when that happens, it will be very difficult to stop. Aston Martin has captured the attention of the paddock, but with admiration has also come an inevitable current of skepticism. And it is understandable. As impressive as the AMR26 design is, the recent history of Formula One is full of examples of promising cars that ended up being victims of their own ambition. The complexity inherent in a concept as aggressive as that of this new car implies a high technical risk. And that was reflected from the first moment. The AMR26 shakedown was not perfect. In fact, it was troublesome. Startup failures and a first day plagued by interruptions forced engineers to recalibrate several systems. Those types of early stumbles, although common in the preseason, set off alarms when the design is so radical that it leaves little room for quick corrections. Rivals know it. And in fact, there is already active surveillance from other teams. Some rumors indicate that technical departments of teams such as Mercedes and McLaren are already analyzing every available image of the AMR26, trying to decipher the secrets behind their most audacious solutions. It's a tacit acknowledgement of the car's potential, but also a sign that if something goes wrong, attacks will soon follow. Because in this sport, what is admiration today can become ridicule tomorrow if the results are not good. And yet, there is a sense of inevitability in the air. Because while the AMR26 may not be ready to win from the first race, it does convey a clear promise. This is not a one-year project. It is a long-term bet. And that is what should worry the rest of the grid the most. Adrian Newey hasn't designed a car to win on day one. It has designed a development platform that can evolve, adapt, and improve with each Grand Prix. That's his formula. He's done it before. He will do it again. And if AMR26 starts the season in a reasonably competitive position, the rest of the field should worry. Because then it won't be a question of whether he will win. It will be a matter of when. Leave me your opinion in the comments what you think about all this.